Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to make sure everybody can actually hear me. So do give me like some response on Facebook. Like just say yes if you can actually hear me. Okay. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I can see everybody can actually hear me. So, first of all, thank you very much for taking your time to join this free webinar session brought to you by iTrain Malaysia. So, today we're going to talk about the Parent's Guide to Google Classroom. So, because we know that there are a lot of parents, you guys are actually struggling during this MCO period. It's simply because like your kids are actually home and they need to still learn from the teacher. So um, one of the most commonly used tool in Malaysia is actually Google Classroom that's actually being used by most of the government school teachers. So and also at the same time, there are a lot of international schools are using this too as well. It's because this is a very straightforward and easy to use, very user friendly tool for both parents and also students as well as teachers. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Wayne, and I'm a Google certified trainer and educator. So my main job is basically to make sure teachers are having a good environment. I would say a good digital environment to teach in the classroom, and also to ensure the student to actually have safe tools to use in the classroom. So that's why I'm here today presenting to you this session. So while I'm actually talking, please feel free to send in your questions via Facebook Live if you are on Facebook. And for those of you who are actually on our Google Meet session, please feel free to send in your question as well. I will try to answer all the questions that you guys have by today. If not, you can always drop us an email after this if you have any question. So first of all, let's take a look at like Google for education. So the CEO of Google actually said that technology alone will not improve education, but it can be a powerful part of the solution. So as we all know that nowadays, because of the technology, um, like kids, I'm pretty sure that most of them they have like at least one smartphone, okay? Or some of them they even have like one iPhone and actually one iPad, one tablet as well. So, um, but very often, like a lot of parents, when they buy devices to the kids, they think that it's good, okay, because it's a new technology and the kids need it. But here comes one problem: they do not know how to actually utilize it for the daily learning. Just like recently, like when we have MCO started, um, everybody just start to get panicked because they are not sure how should they actually start using the technology that they already have on their hand. So they start to go around and ask, like parents, they start to go around and ask each other, hey, um, how how are your kids doing at home? Like how do they use Google Classroom for online learning? So it's so frustrating because we always cannot get to join the classroom. We always cannot receive the notification from the teachers when they assign an assignment and so forth. So we have to actually make sure that we have the right knowledge about the technology so that it can be very powerful part of our education. Okay, so let's take a look at what is Google Classroom. So basically, Google Classroom is a free platform by Google that enables a teacher to create an online classroom area in which they can actually manage document to actually assign it, okay, to the students. So for example, right now everybody is actually staying at home, and we are not able to go to the school. So but of course, like the learning still have to keep going. So that's why the teacher, they are actually using this virtual classroom platform to allow uh, the student to still receiving all the assignment and announcement that being made by the teacher. Okay, so basically it's an online classroom where students actually receive announcement from teacher, um, assignment, and also some learning materials, and also they can actually interact with other students and teachers within the virtual classroom itself. Okay, because they can always leave a comment, they can always like post something on the classroom stream to allow other people to put a comment to interact with each other. And later on, I will actually walk you guys through one by one of the main features that is very important for you guys to take note. So first of all, okay, I'm sure like every one of you here, if you are actually new to Google Classroom, or you never even like heard of it before or never even seen it before, for sure you have a question. How do we start using Google Classroom? Okay, so the first step we're gonna look at, how do you actually access to the classroom platform. So basically there are a few ways for you to access to Google Classroom. So the first way is basically use your laptop, use your computer device to just type in like classroom.google.com so that you can actually go straight into Google Classroom. Okay, that's the one of the most simplest ways. So the second way is basically, so when your kids actually log into their Gmail, okay, so they are given like an email account from the school, so they will have to log into the Gmail. So once they are in the email, if they are not able to see like Google Classroom platform, they just have to go to the top right of the screen. Okay, they just have to go to this part, the top right. They'll be able to see like there is a little 9 dot button, which is the Google Apps Access button, and they click on it, they'll be able to find Google Classroom app within the Google Apps button. Okay, so is the next one is even more simpler. Basically, I'm sure like every one of you, you have mobile, you have smartphone, you have tablet at home. Basically, you just have to go onto your App Store or your Google Play Store to search for Google Classroom and download the app. So once you have the app on the phone, basically you can do everything. Your kids can actually do everything on the phone. Okay. So once you have the app, once you actually access to the platform, how what should you do to get started? So the first thing that you have to do is basically to log in, okay, to your Google Classroom. So you have to make sure the kids actually have the email addresses and password from the school, and then they will have to go to classroom.google.com or go to the app and type in the username, which is the email address, and then the password. Okay, once you log in, if it's the first time, you guys would definitely see a welcome message. Okay, so once you see the welcome message, you just have to click on accept. Then you'll be able to go to the next step, which is to pick a role. So in this case, do always make sure, okay, if you look at my screen here, do always make sure that you click on the left hand side, which is I am a student, because your kid is a student and they're not a teacher. So if they click on the teacher part, basically they will not be receiving any like classwork. So they'll be having trouble assessing to the work and announcement, because they actually become a teacher. So it will be very troublesome if your kid actually click on I'm a teacher, because um, you will have to get the school technical department to actually switch the role for you. So it will be very, very troublesome. So do make sure that once you log in, if it's your first time logging in, you see the screen to choose whether you are a student or teacher. Do make sure that to get your kid to click on I am a student. So once you click on it and just click get started. Okay, so once you have logged in, once you have actually chosen your role, so the next thing you will have to do is basically to join a class. Okay, so because when you log into like a new Google Classroom account, basically you will not see any classroom over there unless, okay, you've been invited by the teacher and added automatically into the class. So but in this case, I'm going to show it to you guys, like how can you actually teach your kid to join into a class, like a new classroom. Let's say, okay, today the teacher actually created like a new class and require your kid to join into the class. So this is what you need to do. So on the screen itself, on the top right, you can actually see there is a little plus button. Okay, there's a little plus button. Once you click on it, you'll be able to see join class. So you just have to click on join class, and then you'll be, oops, you just have to click on join class, and then you'll be prompted to join, to key in the class code. Okay, so what you have to do here is to get a class code from the class teacher. So what is a class code here? So a class code is basically a 6 or 7 letters or numbers code that you can actually get it from a teacher. So basically this class code is automatically generated by the classroom itself. So only the teacher actually have the class code, so you have to get it from the teacher. Okay, so you have to make sure it's actually 6 or 7 letters or numbers. So it can be the combination, it can be just purely letters, or it can be just purely numbers. So you have to make sure that you get it, like whether it's 6 or 7 letters or numbers. Okay, so once you actually enter the class code, you just have to click join, and then you'll be added into the classroom. Okay. Oops. So sometimes some of the people, some of the students, this one I always hear from the students, also the complaint from the parents is saying that I'm not allowed to join into a classroom. Okay, I'm having like error message. That's because, okay, you are actually logged in to the wrong account. So what does it mean you log into the wrong account? So you might be actually, so for example, today your kids are actually using your laptop device to log into Google Classroom. Okay, so to log into Google Classroom, and then um, in your browser itself, you actually have your own account logged in. So um, in this case, your kids might be actually accidentally use your click on your account to log into Google Classroom. So what you have to do is that you don't have to get panic. It's very simple. You just go to the top right, okay, and find the little icon, whether it's with your photo or whether it's with your initial letter of your name. Okay, when you click on it, you'll be able to see this email account that's currently being logged into your Google Classroom. So once you click on it, okay, if you find that, okay, this is not the right account, for example, this is not the your kids account, so you need to switch it to your kids account in order for your kids to be able to join into the Google Classroom. So you just have to click on add another account. Okay, then you will just have to rekey in all the email address and password and log in, and you'll be able to log into the right classroom. Okay, so for mobile device user, how do you actually add yourself into the classroom? Okay, this is for the kids. For example, okay, today I'm actually already logged into my Google Classroom account through my Google Classroom app. So when I'm there, so I can see on the I scroll to the top, I can see there's a plus button. I just have to click on the plus button and hit join class. Okay. Once I hit the join class, again, I'll be prompted to input, to enter the class code. So as you can see, there are explanation here at the bottom. Okay. Use a class code with 6 to 7 letters and numbers. Okay. And no spaces or symbols. to actually put in your class code and hit join button, then you'll be able to join into the classroom via your mobile app. Okay, so just in case I missed out any of your questions, so let me just take a look to see if I can see any of your question. Okay. So a lot of people are actually asking for the Mandarin session. Okay. So for the Mandarin session, you'll be conducted on next weekend. So not to worry, for those of you who wish to join again for um, the Mandarin session, please feel free to join us again on next weekend. So we'll be having another same Google Classroom for Parent session in Mandarin. Okay. And of course, you're still welcome to actually stay on with this English session so that you can actually see, you can actually look at the steps that you can actually use Google Classroom. Okay, so okay, let's see what else. Okay, so far there's no other questions, so I'll keep going. So, okay, next step. So next step is basically how do you, okay, let's see. Okay, the next one we're gonna talk about notification. Okay, I'm sure like a lot of you might be wondering like, hey, let's say I have the app already installed on my phone or on my kid's phone. How do I know when the teacher actually assigns something to my kids? Okay, so this is one of the most commonly asked question from the parents or from the even from the students. They always ask me like, how do I know? So basically, when the teacher assigns something, whether it's announcement, whether it's assignment or like classwork to the kids, okay, the kids' email will actually receive notification like this. It will say new assignment, okay, with the name of the assignment within the email itself. And let's say if it's an announcement, the teachers are trying to announce something and are trying to pass a message, so your kid will actually receive an email called new announcement. Okay, and let's say if like it's a class invitation, so your kids are basically being invited to join into a class, so they will receive an email, okay, which is with the title class invitation and with the name of the class. So what they have to do is just simply click on the join button. Okay, then they'll be automatically added into the class. Okay, so once your kids are actually in the class, what do you guys need to know? What do you guys need to understand? Okay, basically, there are very there are three very simple things that you guys need to know, need to understand, which is stream, okay, classwork and people. So stream, classwork and people. So for those of you who are actually using mobile app, you can actually find the three different tabs at the bottom. Okay, and for those of you who are using the web version, the desktop version, you can always find it on the top of the class. You will have to go into the class in order for you to find these three tabs. Okay, let me have a little bit of explanation to you. So what they are. So basically stream is equivalent to our news feed on our Facebook. So basically on Facebook, on your news feed, basically you see everything, like whether it's your own post or the post of someone else, is all in the newsfeed, right? So assuming that stream here is actually the newsfeed of your Facebook, so you will see everything that posted by the teacher on the stream. Okay, so the next tab will be classwork, which I will actually go a little bit more detail later on by showing you a live demo or how it looks like in the classwork tab. So basically in classwork is where you can find all the assignment that assigned by the teacher. Okay, and also like let's say teachers actually assign some learning materials, you can also find it within the classwork tab as well. So people tab. So people tab is basically where you can find who is the teacher of this class. okay, and also who are the other students that actually within the same class as well. All right. So the next part, we're going to discuss about how do you join into a Google Meet classroom session. Okay, this is something very interesting because I do know that some of the teachers they prefer to use Zoom. Okay, but a lot of teachers nowadays they prefer to use Google Meet session because Google Classroom actually has Google Meet link integrated within the classroom itself that allowed the kids to actually click on the link to join into the virtual classroom straight away. Okay, so this is so for those of you who are not sure what is Google Meet classroom session, basically is like a video call. Okay, it's like a video call that allows your kids to be able to interact with the teachers, will be able to interact with other students within the same video call. So let's take a look at how can your kids actually join into the Google Meet link. So what they have to do is basically go to the class, okay, go into one of the class and scroll to the top of the screen of the stream, you'll be able to see this link over here. It's being called, okay, Meet link, okay, with the little video call icon on the right hand side. So you just have to click on this link to join into the Google Meet session. So once you click into it, you'll be jumping into a video call. Okay, that's where the teacher actually hosting the class. Okay, and that's where all other students actually join into the class as well. Okay, so let's say if you're using a mobile app, so this is where you can find your Google Meet session link. Okay, so you just have to go into one class and scroll to the top. You'll be able to find the video call button on the top. So you just have to tap onto it and you'll be able to join into Google Meet session. All right. So let's take a look if there is any other question. Okay, so why sometimes I'm not able to join into the Google Meet link, okay, but I go to Meet directly, then I key in the Meet code, I'm able to join. So sometimes because just I just wanted to explain to you because this is like a new integration, new feature of Google that recently released just because um, Google wants to actually provide this service to um, allow the teachers and students to have a better distant and online learning experience. So this is like an entirely new feature. So there might be some bugs. So do actually be patient and and wait for like a few updates so that the problem can be fixed. Okay, but so far recently, like just recent 2 weeks, I have actually realized that there are a lot of improvement there, where there is no more like delay or there is no more error or any issue when joining into the Google Meet class because I do actually admit that in the very beginning stage when this feature was being released there was some error, but recently after a few updates I realized that I noticed that there are a lot of improvement already. Okay, so and sometimes it could be the connection issue as well. So let's say if you're having like some slow connection issue or some Wi-Fi internet issue, so that could actually also cause the problem of you not being able to join into the call. Okay, also if let's say if you want to use it, if you want to have a better experience to use it on your mobile phone, you can also download the Google Meet app so that when you hit on this Google Meet link, you can be automatically linked to this app so that you can use the app to attend the virtual class. Okay. Okay, I can see that like some of you here actually say that okay, you cannot see the video icon on the mobile app. Okay, let me explain to you why. Because some teacher they prefer not to generate the link for the kids to join into the Google Meet link through Google Classroom. That's why you cannot see the button there. Okay, just want to explain to you that this link will only be visible when the teacher actually generate this link and make it visible to all the students within the class. Let's say this link is not being generated by the teacher and is not being made visible to the kids. Basically, you guys will not be able to see the button there. Okay? So, the next thing, I'm pretty sure like a lot of you here, you are very, very interested to know is that how can you actually get informed about your kids' classwork or what's happening within the class? Okay, here we have a report called Guardian Summary, which you can actually provide your email address to the class teacher so that the class teacher can invite you into the classroom in order for you to receive like a summary report of your kids uh, classwork bi-weekly or bi-daily. Okay, so the report basically included missing work, upcoming work, and class activity. So this is something that is very cool because you don't have to go through like your kids Google Classroom account over and over again to actually check how's the work going and what's the work like, whether your kids actually submit the work to the teacher or not, whether you have any announcement that you miss out. So once you have subscribed for this summary report, basically you can receive a weekly or daily email automatically generated by Google Classroom, okay, sent to your email that include the missing work, upcoming work, and also the class activity, okay, within the email itself. So let's take a closer look on this part. Okay, so basically this gonna be how, okay, the weekly summary looks like. So on the top of the summary, basically you can see the missing work from last week. So when it says missing work here, it means the work that's been due and your kids have not actually submitted to the teacher. So you can see that, oh, here we have two work here that needs to be submitted to the teacher, and the work that's gonna be due on next week. Okay, the reason why you can see the due date here is because all the work that being submitted by the teacher and also being created by the teacher and sent to your kids, it's being set with the due date. Okay, so that your kids are actually aware that when do they need to submit the work to the teacher. So and as you scroll down in the email, you can see other class activity from last week because this is a weekly report. So you can see from last week what other things been happening within the classroom itself. So for example, okay, there are some assignment from the US history subject, and also there are some questions that being asked within the class, and also from American literature subject. Okay, there is an announcement as well being posted on the 10th of August, okay, and so forth. So if you scroll down to the bottom of the email, let's say if you think that you do not wish to subscribe to this weekly summary again, okay, you do not wish to actually receive this summary again in the future, you can always unsubscribe it by clicking on this button. Okay, if you wish to subscribe it, you can always just keep it this way. So how, again, I would like to repeat, how do you um, subscribe to this email summary from the Google Classroom? So basically, you need to provide your email address. Is your email address, not your kid's email address, okay? You have to provide your email address to the class teacher, and the class teacher will have to attach it with your kids Google Classroom account so that you'll be able to receive an invitation email and say that you are now subscribed to the Google Classroom summary. Okay? So the next thing we're going to look at is I'm going to show you guys very quickly a few things that you need to know about Google Classroom. Okay, so for example, right now I'm going to show you some things that I've actually posted on the stream. So for example, here I get to see a new material that's being posted by teacher. Okay, when I click on it, I can see this is the virtual class recorded session that's been posted as a learning material from my teacher. So what does it mean here by class material? Okay, it means this is something that for your kids to be able to watch it over and over again as a revision, or whether sometimes they might be actually missing out some points from the previous class, from the previous virtual class, they'll be able to do revision from this session. So this can be very useful if the teacher actually record the virtual class and reposted it on Google Classroom to share with your kids. Okay. So, and also I can see there is an announcement that's been made by the teacher saying that, hello students, please watch the video attached below before our virtual class on Monday morning. So the teacher has attached a video, okay, onto the stream here as an announcement to allow the kids to watch. So basically they just have to click here and the video will actually be started to stream on the Google Classroom. And of course, they can leave some class comment as well. Hi, teacher. Okay, watch the video. It's very interesting. So as a student, I can always leave a comment, okay, under a post. So there you can see I can leave a comment just like Facebook, just like any other social media as a student. And of course, I'll be able to see the comments from my other um, from my other friends as well within the same class, my classmate. Okay. And also, when I scroll down, I get to see, so my teacher has just posted another new assignment, so which I can actually click on it to open up the assignment to see what's in it. Okay. And of course, in this case, I'm going to show you another easier way for you to be able to see all the works being posted by the teacher. So you just have to simply go to classwork. So it's the same on the mobile app itself. So you just have to go on to uh, classwork tab, and then you'll be able to see on the top here the assignment, okay, and the bottom you can see the class material, the learning material basically. So how do you open up the assignment? You just have to click on it. You'll be able to see the questions and the instructions within it, okay, and then you can click to see view assignment, and there is a video attached here, and there is a document attached here that your kids can actually open up to edit it. Okay, so of course your kids can also leave a class comment to interact with other students as well. So what does it mean here? So as you can see, class comments and private comments on the right. So what's the difference in between these two? So let's say if your kid is too shy to ask a question in the public, okay, they can always ask a private question directly to the teacher by leaving a comment on the right hand side here under the private comment section. Okay, just have to type in a question and click send. The question will be sent directly with to the teacher without showing to other student, to other classmate. So if your kids actually leave a comment over here, you'll be visible to other student, other classmate as well. Okay, that's the difference. So let's say if this assignment actually require your kids to, let's say, take a picture or record a video and attach it to submit it to the teacher, how can you do it? So what you can do is that you have to click on the add or create button over here on the right hand side. Okay, then you'll be able to attach different type of files into this assignment and submit it as part of the work. All right, so you can actually upload it from your Google Drive, or it's gonna be uploaded directly from your device. You can always click file. So when you click on file, okay, you'll be actually prompted to select the file that you want to upload. Okay, then you just have to mark as done. So your kid have to mark it as done in order for the teacher to know that the work has been submitted. So this is a very important stage that normally kids forgot to do it. So okay, I emphasize again, so once everything's been done, all the work's been created, all the work's been attached within this page, they will have to click on mark as done. Okay, so that the work will be actually marked as done, and the teacher will receive a notification saying that, hey, okay, this kid has already submitted the work. So okay, the work is already been submitted. So once the work's been submitted, you can see handed in on the top right. Okay, so when you see this status here, it means handed it means submitted work. Okay, it means that done, everything's been done. So next thing, we're going to look at another class. We're going to look at another type of assignment. So let's say we go to mathematics. I go into classwork again, and I click on this activity and click on view assignment. Okay, as you can see, this one, it shows hand in. And this one, it shows that there is already a work being attached to here, but I haven't actually touched anything yet. So why is this case? Because this teacher has actually made a copy of work for everybody to edit, okay, within the class. So what the kid has to do is to click on the work here. Okay, when I click on it, it will open up the work, okay, within Google Drawing itself. So if you guys are actually using tablet, for example, iPad, you'll be able to do some handwriting here on the top, okay, of this worksheet. And then the best part about using Google Classroom is that the kids don't have to click on any save button or anything. So they just have to do the work here. Okay, let's say they will need to type something. Okay, I'm just gonna type some work over here. So answer two. For example, okay, I'm gonna put in the answer over here and just leave it here. I don't have to click on any button like save or anything else because it's been automatically saved as long as you have internet connection. So what you have to do next, okay, is I just have to go back to the Google Classroom tab and hit on hand in. So you'll be automatically submitted to the teacher. Okay. So let's see if there's any other questions. So a lot of question over here. Okay, so somebody said, we need to download two apps. So what are the apps that you need to download? Okay, so I mentioned that the main app is actually Google Classroom, but the second app that I mentioned earlier is actually optional, which is Google Meet app. So Google Meet app will actually allow you or your kids to actually join into the virtual class via video call more easily. Okay, but it's not necessary. So let's say if the teacher is not using Google Meet to host a virtual classroom via video call, so you do not have to download this Google Meet application. Okay, because Google Meet application is purely for it is purely for video call only. But when it comes to like doing work, when it comes to doing assignment or classwork, it's still everything is still on Google Classroom. Okay, so the two apps are actually Google Classroom and Google Meet. Okay, Google Meet, MEET. So, okay, yes, handed in means turn in. Okay, means I've already submitted my work to my teacher. So, and of course, if you look at my screen right now, you can actually see that there is an unsubmit button. So, what does it mean? It means that your kid can still unsubmit the work after it's being submitted to the teacher. Okay? Okay, you get it? So, it's basically if I click on unsubmit, okay, I will unsubmit my work so I can still do like re-editing, okay, and then re-hand it into the classroom and hand it over to the teacher. Okay, let me see if there is any more questions. Yeah, a lot of question over here. Okay, from there's another question, okay, from our friend here saying that if my kid doesn't show his work on the due date, okay, I'm assuming that you're asking that if your kid doesn't actually submit the work on the due date, okay, before the due date, so what will happen? So basically, it will actually give the teacher a notification saying that okay, this kid actually handed in late. Okay, your kid will still be able to submit the work to the teacher, but it will be shown as late. So do take note on that. Okay. So I received a notification on my handphone, but why not? It's the same on the laptop or web. So if you're using the laptop or the web version of Google Classroom, you will have to receive the notification via email. Okay, so if you want to receive the notification like on time, I do actually strongly recommend you to download the app, the Google Classroom app on your phone so that you can actually receive a notification anytime when the teacher actually assign any work or announcement to your kid. Okay, so okay. So I'm sorry that let's say if I miss out your questions, do actually resend it again. If I will try my best to actually answer all the questions that you guys have here. So let me check what else. Okay, yes. So for those of you who actually for those of the kid who actually received like a Google Doc work, so once you open up Google Doc, you will have to open this Google Doc in another app called Google Doc. Okay, so which is why normally I would actually recommend the students or the parents to actually guide the kids to use Google Classroom via laptop because reason being is that laptop or even iPad, you have like big screen, you have a bigger screen, it's easier for you to do work. And secondly is that if you're using a web version of Google Classroom, you can easily click on any of the document and it will open up a new tab without having you to install multiple apps. Because I know that I do understand that downloading apps can be very troublesome for a lot of people. So you have to download like multiple apps, and sometimes you do not know which app to download. You're not sure. Sometimes you might be actually downloading like a wrong app or so forth. So that's why I strongly recommend you guys to actually use browser, okay, a web browser on a laptop to actually allow your kids to access to the Google Classroom and do the work. So it'll be much, much easier. Okay, let me see what else. Okay, question from Po Hui Yup. Okay, can you confirm to subscribe to summary? As a parent, we only provide parent email to the teacher, or and is the teacher to link and enable for the summary report? Is it right? Okay, so just to sum up to answer your question. So in order for you to subscribe for the parent summary email, so what you have to do is to talk to the teacher saying that, hey, I would really like to get an update regarding my kids' work. Okay, whether it's weekly or daily, that one you can actually set it yourself when you receive the invitation email afterwards. So what you have to do is just talk to the teacher, say, hey, I want to receive this summary report. So this is my email address. Can you please subscribe me into it? So teacher will be able to help you to put in attach your email together with your kids email within Google Classroom from the teacher side. Okay, you cannot do it from the kid side, so you have to do it from the teacher side. And you, once the email is being attached to your kids email, you'll be able to receive an email saying that, hey, your kids teacher has just invited you to receive the summary report. So if you wish to receive it, bi-weekly, please click here. If you wish to receive it by daily, please click here. So you just have to select the frequency that you wish to receive the summary report. Then you'll be able to receive this email based on the frequency that you have set. Okay. Let's see what else. Um if the teacher didn't provide this hand-in button for assignment, do we hand in homework? So basically, from Jennifer Chan. So that's a very good question. Okay, basically this hand-in button, it's already there. Okay, as long as there is an assignment, you will see a hand-in button. So no matter what, so it's not something that's being created by the teacher or not created by the teacher, because this is not something that can be controlled by the teacher. But what can be controlled by a teacher is that teacher can assign the work to your kids. Okay, as soon as your kids actually receive like a work, then you'll be able, or your kids will be able to see this hand in button over there. So it will always be there. Okay, if you don't see a hand button, okay, it means it's a class material, is not an assignment. Okay, let me show you the difference. So let's say if I go back to my class material, so when I talk about class material, it means that it doesn't require any submission. So it means that it's a learning material for the kids to refer, for the kids to actually look at, for the kids to actually read or to watch the video. Okay, so the icon should look something like this. If you look at my screen, okay, let me zoom in for you to take a closer look. It should look like a book with a bookmark. Okay, that should be the class material. So I know it looks almost the same as the assignment when you look at the classwork here, but when you click on it, okay, it shows at view material instead of view assignment. So when I click on view material, there is no hand in button. Okay, so that's the difference. So, and now if I switch back to assignment, so if I go to the top here, it's a different icon. Okay, it's assignment icon. Then it shows that view assignment. So when I click on view assignment, okay, because I already submitted, so it shows that unsubmit. All right. So you would definitely see the hand in button if it is an assignment. So, and once handed in, you will see the status here show as handed in. Okay. So let me see if there's any more other question. Are we able to see the history of the private comment sent? Um, if and yeah, how long does the comment last? Okay. Okay, are you able to delete the message like WhatsApp in case wrongly typed or wrongly sent? So, okay, these are very, very good question. Thanks for asking. So, first of all, the comments will always be there. Okay, as long as the teachers they don't actually delete the class, basically it will always be there. Okay, it will be there like forever. Okay, because um, as long as you don't actually the teacher don't actually delete the class, it will always be there for you to see. And no, you cannot delete the question. Okay, what is the button called mark as done? That's a very good question as well. So when it says mark as done, it's actually the same thing as submit. Okay, the reason why you can see mark as done and also the submit button is that because when you click on mark as done, it means there is no work being attached here. Okay, when you see this button mark as done, it means there's no work being attached here. So if you attach something here, it will actually change to submit button. Okay, but it's actually the same function to basically notify the teacher saying that, hey, I have actually submitted my work. Okay. Okay, so Hui Chi, okay. I've created a Google Classroom, but can only see invite teacher and invite student where to add parents. So I'm assuming that Hui Chi, you are a teacher. So in this case, if you are not able to see like the guardian button to add the parents, so you have to go to people. Okay, you go to people here and to find your student. If you're not able to see the guardian button, you have to talk to the Google Classroom admin in your school to ask them to enable this feature for you. Okay, it needs to be enabled by the IT admin. So from IMay, I missed the early part of this presentation. Is there any podcast for today's session? So don't worry, we have this recorded and it'll be uploaded to our Facebook page and also to our YouTube page. And also next week we'll be having another session in Mandarin. Okay, so you can always join us again. So what about the points besides okay the classwork title? So what's the point here? Okay, showing the classwork title. So basically these are the points that being set by the teacher telling your kid how many points they get for this assignment. Okay, what's the score, what's the grade? So but of course for this part it's usually depending on the school, depending on the teachers. It's not being looked at like the most important part of Google Classroom, because the points can be changed, the grade can be changed. So because this is actually not a test, right? So this is like just a homework and assignment. So um, to actually have more information, I would actually suggest you to consult the teacher. So sometimes you might be seeing like only 50 points. So maybe if you want to clarify, so what are these 50 points for? Like how do you allocate the point to for my kids? So you can always clarify with the teacher. Okay. But from my experience, like normally a lot of teachers, they don't actually assign any points because this is like a classwork, so it's not like a competition, it's not like a exam, so it doesn't really require any points. That just need to make sure that the kids actually learn something, the kids actually able to do the work. Okay, so are parents allowed to join class without using kids login email? So the answer is no. So parents, usually you are not allowed to you're not allowed to join into Google Classroom. Okay, so only the kids with the school email, they will be able to join into Google Classroom. Okay, so I can see that there are some of the question that it's related to Google Meet. All right, so I'm happy to answer you as well this one. Okay, how many participants can you accommodate for Google Meet? So for now, okay, you can actually accommodate up to 250 participants within one Google Meet session. Okay, 250, 250. So from question from Michelle Wu. So can teacher mute the student and disable the chat box? So are you talking about Google Meet? So if you're talking about Google Meet, yes, you can actually mute the student, but you cannot disable the chat box. Okay. All right, so I could say that I've actually pretty much answered like most of the questions, and um, also we have actually pretty much covered most of the things today. Okay, so um, just wondering if you guys have any more questions. I'll be giving like another 5 more minutes to answer any of the question that you have before we end our session for today. So question from Tang, Google Meet got any time limit per session? So the answer is no. So there's no any time limit for Google Meet. Okay, it can be as long as you want. All right. So what is the classroom folder? So basically, the classroom folder that you can see is the folder that save your kids work. Okay, so whatever work that your kids actually submitted to the teacher is being saved automatically within the Google Drive of your kids email address. So when you click on this folder, you can always find back everything within the folder itself. So all the kids that's been assigned, that's been submitted, it's all within the same folder. Can student laptop hide the chat box? Yes. So anyone within the Google Meet can always hide the chat box if you do not wish to say to say it. Okay, let's see what else. So how do we find a recorded virtual class? That's a very good question. Um, So for the virtual class, if you want to actually, let's say you want to look back, all the virtual class have been conducted by the teacher. Usually, it will have to be reattached into Google Classroom by the teacher, or else you wouldn't be able to see it because everything is being saved on the Google side. Sorry, on the teacher side. So you have to request it from the teacher. Okay. For those of you who are actually teachers here, I would actually recommend you to reattach your recorded virtual class into your Google Classroom as a class material so that, okay, your students can always watch again all the previous session that you already have um, in the past so that they can always go back and do some revision. Okay. Sometimes after submitting homework and clicking done and logging off, the homework is shown as not done when we log on. Oh, really? So, um, so if that's the case, sometimes I've actually heard of the case before, but not many. It's because when they click on the submit button or mark as done button when they have like internet connection problem. So when this happen, your work will not be actually submitted to the teacher. So you will have to make sure that you have decent internet connection. So when you click the mark as done or submit button, so that it can actually go through. Okay. All right. So I guess like we have actually pretty much covered everything. And for those of you who actually wish to join again the same session but in Mandarin language, we are actually hosting one on next weekend. On next weekend at the same time at 11 to 12 p.m. We'll be talking about exactly the same thing but in Mandarin. Okay, so once again, thanks everybody for joining our session today. Do make sure that you stay safe, always keep social distancing, always wear a mask, and try not to go out if not necessary. Thank you very much for joining today. Okay, see you guys next week.